Hi everyone, it's the Big Kahuna, Pat Miley with Blue Collar Conservative MAGA Monday for August 5th, 2024. First things first, storm prep. Uh, that's why I'm making this video at 11:15 tonight, as opposed to earlier today. I was supposed to get back on calls today. I took 2 weeks off. Just to get my head back together. Um, gonna hit the 100,000 mark somewhere August or September, late August, early September. Uh, yeah, got things ready. Bug out bags are all ready. Everybody's got their bug out bag ready. Everything's charging that needs to be charged. I have a power box that can hold charge multiple devices at once. I got some solar chargers that I had out today, but probably didn't get a charge because of all this ugliness. Uh, Flashlights, power packs, lanterns, all on charge, or fresh batteries, transistor radio, fresh batteries. The So we're all ready to rock and roll. If you're wondering what's in the bug out bags, each one is different. Mine has first aid kit, 100 rounds of 9mm hollow points, 3 knives, different types of knives, pepper mace, lots of things that you might end up needing, pair of binoculars, whatever. But yeah, that's all ready to rock and roll. Two extra extended magazines for my sidearm. So all that's ready to roll. The gonna get to what I'm planning on talking about now. First, I was sidetracked with all that. Honeymoon between Kamala and the media continues, even though she hasn't had a press conference since she became the presumptive candidate for the Democrat Party. Her frontrunner for vice president, Josh Shapiro, hoped to deliver. He's hoped to deliver the swing state of Pennsylvania. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm pretty sure that he's not going to be her candidate, simply because there's a lot of anti-Semitism in the Democrat Party right now. Just because he's Jewish, and there's also 2 other Jewish people that are involved with Kamala's campaign. I see him winning, helping them to win Pennsylvania, but in the process, with all those Muslims in Michigan, they'll lose Michigan, and they don't want to trade one for the other. So possibly Wisconsin's governor is going to get in there. Now, there's a lot of problems, a lot of baggage that Josh Shapiro has that people aren't aware of. He unconstitutionally held 2 offices in Pennsylvania at the same time in 2020. He was the Attorney General, which is the post he was elected to, and he was the acting Solicitor General. So he was in charge of all criminal and civil legal matters for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania at the same time. And that's illegal. And it's a conflict of interest. It's also a conflict of interest because Shapiro, being the acting Solicitor General, was put in a position to defend all the unconstitutional changes in election laws made by the Secretary of State of Pennsylvania. The way Pennsylvania's constitution is, any change in election laws has to come through the state legislature. And she bypassed those laws, that constitutional uh, law that and just made up her own rules as she went along. She extended mail-in balloting that was supposed to end. The cutoff was supposed to be 10 days before the election, so those ballots could be distributed to the precincts for tabulation in a precinct level. Also, ballots could come in 5 days after the election. Ballots could be accepted without signature or date on them, which is against that law. They established drop boxes. They established early voting. Early voting didn't happen before 2020. So you had to wear a mask to go vote, but you didn't need a mask to riot in 2020. So the conflict with Shapiro on that regard, he was put in a position to defend these measures, and he was on the ballot. He was on the ballot for governor. So blatant conflict of interest. Shapiro supported the. That did that part already. Shapiro has his own version of Willie Horton. If anybody remembers Willie Horton, that was a murderer that Michael Dukakis left out on a weekend pass, and it became an issue in the election. So this is his Willie Horton, because Shapiro attempted to secretly aid Larry Krasner in the parole of Philadelphia cop killer Mumia Abu Jamal. Abu Jamal killed Officer Daniel Faulkner in 1981. So he's already been in prison for 43 years. He was originally sentenced to death, but that death, he had to have another hearing on his on the penalty phase of his murder trial, and it was reduced to life in prison. Shapiro also failed to prosecute some political cronies of his that were involved in money laundering. These guys were political donors. The reason he did this is maybe because he himself was the target of an investigation involving money laundering of campaign finances. He was running money through the Pennsylvania Education Association, the teachers union. Okay, now we're turning to Biden. Once again, he has gone against the Reagan Doctrine of not negotiating with terrorists. To kind of fill you in, Biden's deal. Well, here's the first part. Sorry, I got stumbled here. Biden's DOD secretly tried to make a plea bargain between three of the individuals who were behind the planning of 9/11 attacks, that they wouldn't get the death penalty, they would get life in prison. Now, what I'd like to know is, why are these guys still breathing? It has been 23 years and 4 presidential administrations since 9/11. If no one has the balls to kill these pieces of shit, then let me or some other red-blooded American to do the job for you. Biden has made his third straight bad deal in hostage negotiations. And all of this goes against, like I said, the Reagan Doctrine. First, he gave away $6 billion in cash and unfroze assets that were economic sanctions against Iran for 6 prisoners. Now, when he unfroze these billions of dollars, this was supposed to go to humanitarian needs. But instead, what they went to was Hamas and Hezbollah to attack Israel. It went to building those 300 drones that they launched against Israel's Iron Dome last year. And it's going to pay for this impending attack that Israel is bracing for now. This attack from 3 fronts. From the south, it's Hamas. From the north, it'll be Hezbollah. And from the east, it'll be Iran launching another wave. They believe to be about 1,000 drones launched in rapid succession towards Israel. And there's no way the Iron Dome is going to be able to sustain attacks from 3 different directions. So the U.S. has Patriot missile batteries in the region as well, and they have anti-missile capabilities on their ships in the Mediterranean. There's also this is if Biden actually intercedes. There's also a task force of Burke-class destroyers outside the Straits of Hormuz that could pretty much destroy the entire Iranian surface fleet in short order. They're not very modern with their army or their navy. Their navy ships are, some of them are 60 years old, with 40 or 50-year-old Exocet missiles, which has a very short range compared to our cruise missiles. The Straits of Hormuz are guarded by 50-year-old Chinese silkworm missiles that can be easily dealt with as well. So they don't have a very modern military. Excuse me a second. My screen went blank. There we go. So all this with that's just the first deal with the Iranians. Then we dealt with the Russians. We swapped a arms dealer responsible for thousands of deaths, plus he murdered people himself, known as the Merchant of Death, for a basketball player. That's what we swapped with the Russians last year. This year's swap with the Russians is so lopsided it's unreal. 26 murderers and spies that were mostly in American custody were swapped for 10 prisoners. Of them, only 3 were Americans. And they were 3 influential Americans. What is painful to say is there are 7 Americans who are not influential, still in Russian gulags. When are we going to help them? They've been in, some of them have been in custody longer than any of these people who got out. When the 3 passengers arrived on U.S. soil, it was at Joint Base Andrews. And of course, there was a photo op for Kamala and Mr. Magoo. Mr. Magoo was so far past the sundowning of his medication, he looked like he was in an extremely confused state. And so much so that he climbed onto the aircraft the empty aircraft that these prisoners just got off of. This guy, it makes you wonder who actually brokered this lopsided exchange, because it sure as hell wasn't Mr. Magoo. And now he and Kamala are sitting in the Situation Room probably not doing all that much, just sitting there listening to their advisors, and neither one of them understanding what's going on. Next, we have J.D. Vance. He correctly referred to Kamala as a childless cat lady. All right. The response to this by liberals was to call Vance and all Republicans weird. They're running on a platform of killing babies up until birth, letting terrorists, murderers, and rapists free passage across our southern border, and the genital mutilation of children. If we are weird, what is this? Okay, the media is touting significant gains in polls for Harris since becoming the party's presumptive candidate. Given her approval rating, she had nowhere to go but up. Political polling, as far as I know, does not go into negative integers, but maybe it should. Trump has higher margins than ever in key demographics in the swing states. Independents, African Americans, Latinos, you name it, they're all up compared to 2020 and 2016. It is his race to lose. Harris really does not stand a chance at all. Okay. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the Blue Collar Conservative podcasts on your YouTube and Rumble. They can also be viewed on Facebook, X, and Truth Social. Stay safe and God bless. And pray for those in the path of Hurricane Debbie.